Welcome to Margin Business Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. In today's episode, we have Hai Mag, the CEO and co-founder of EVA. EVA provides an AI-powered repricing, restocking, reimbursement platform to Amazon sellers. One more thing, if you like our content, please hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Thank you and enjoy. So happy to have you here today. Welcome to Margin Business Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. How are you doing today? From where do you speak today with us?
Thanks, Omar. Thanks for having me. So I'm really excited to be your guest. Today I'm located in San Diego, California. It's a nice, beautiful day, which is pretty much all the same. It's always nice and beautiful here.
Kind of, yeah.
Very excited to be your guest.
Oh, that's nice to hear. So very nice. It's summer at the moment, summertime in California, right?
Well, it's always the summertime, so
kind of, I know.
Kind of, exactly. It's like, I mean, the best thing here is like, it's a summer, but there's always a breeze. Like
yes.
there's always like a natural air condition, plus like it's also summer. So I think it's kind of one of the best.
But sometimes it can go, I mean, in winter, it goes down to 15, 14 degrees, raining and stuff now.
Yes, not exactly the Southern California that much. In the north, that's like that. But in the southern, it's even nicer. It's pretty much summer.
Okay, that sounds perfect. So yeah, that's great to hear. So we want to go through your professional life today, and as well personal life in the beginning, so we can our audience, they can see where did you grow up, how did you go from the humble beginnings up to the co-founder and CEO of EVA, EVA. What is EVA standing for anyway?
Oh, it's like Eva, Adam and Eve, like it's Eva is like in many languages. Also originally it was Eva,
Okay, perfect. Just by the way, So great. Okay. So where did you grow up, and how was your school life, and is there anything going on like entrepreneurial in your family?
Right. By the way, I kind of always say that being the entrepreneur is like a genetical disorder. Whatever you do, like whatever company you are in or whatever salary you make, if you have this disorder, then you just become an entrepreneur at the end, because that's what you are supposed to do in this life. That's how I felt. Like I was born in Turkey. And it's in the West Coast, it's very nice, similar to California. And from my childhood, I was always thinking that I should become an entrepreneur. I should just, like open up some business and, grow the business. But, it's not always the case because, like, of course, like my family was thinking, you're a smart guy. The smart guys become engineers, in the, let's say, that part of the world. And so I became a computer engineer. But I was then thinking, wow, this is great stuff. Like now I'm like a computer engineer. I should definitely go and create a new company, create some software. But, then I kind of ended up like in a management consulting firm in Germany, Omar, which you may, so it's called Accenture. It's one of the largest consulting firms today, both doing management and system integration. And I ended up in Frankfurt, and I was like, thinking that I'll become an entrepreneur, but I ended up like, kind of working on this very large merge and acquisition projects, like, one bank acquiring another, and it takes like 6 months and like very hard work, but it was very exciting for me. Because even today I always say I know Germany better than any other country in the world, because during the 3 years, like I lived in almost every city, and I worked in every city, because like the customers are everywhere, all around, and it's like the Germany, it's not like over concentrated in one area. Like there's every customer can be in any city. And it was really nice experience. I mean, and I learned a lot, there. Then I moved to UK, spent a few years there, yeah, both managing the UK business for a company called Siebel, which was doing CRM and customer relationship management. And from there, Oracle acquired Siebel.
Okay.
I mean, again, I worked, in Scandinavia, in Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Russia,
Wow, that's a
Africa.
resume.
I was managing Africa for many years, Middle East,
Okay.
and the years are passing, right? Like, I
Sure.
mean, I was always doing this side things, like investing into other people's companies. One of the companies that I invested was like 10 years ago. One of my good friend moved to Houston, Texas, and he created an Amazon store, and I invested into his business, and he grew it to like $15 million. And
Wow,
a couple
good.
of years back, like he was telling me, like, this is like a huge business. I cannot even handle it anymore. And, you are like still, and I was like, growing on my career, like from manager to director, from director to vice president of Oracle, and managing a huge business, like $1 billion.
Okay.
But he was like, what happened to your disorder? Like, what happened to your dream of becoming an entrepreneur? Then I was also kind of, kind of involved in retail and e-commerce for the last 10 years because of Oracle has a lot of solutions. And I was thinking, like, it's not anymore about money for me. It's not about like, creating a career, because, it's you come to a limit where you start thinking that it's not really fulfilling anymore for you. Then I thought, like, maybe I should join him, and we should just merge my experience of like creating enterprise software with my founder's experience of like developing and building an Amazon business. So we kind of like blend this together and created EVA. And that was the story like 2 years ago. And the last 2 years was like one day, or maybe I'm just feeling like this Groundhog Day, if you know that movie. It's like every day is the same, but it's not boring. It's like so interesting, but it's like a one day. I feel every day is the first day. Like I open up, and like Jeff Bezos told this to the the Amazon guys, but I kind of feel it, not because of he said it, but being an entrepreneur and doing what you want, it's really like you wake up to the you wake up to the first day every day. So I think that's super interesting, and that's where I am right now.
So you really, it's like you wake up to the dream, it's because when you love to do something, you have passion in it, and you cannot wait to wake up in the morning, and just continue your what you love to do. And that's the entrepreneur and in all of us, because we're passionate about what we do. So this is an amazing breakdown of your career. And maybe, I think, not maybe, but even most of the people don't understand that who would step down from a position, like, for example, I'm just saying Oracle, the position you had there, managing so many clients and having such a bright future up to 60 years old, and then get retirement. And some people would not understand that you just say, okay, that's it, I don't want anymore. Maybe even your family would say, oh, what's going on with you? Why you do that? Why you got into uncertainty? And for entrepreneurs, it's not an uncertainty, because exactly these people in these positions, they live in the pseudo security, because it's not secure. It's the same as us. Everything is the same, This is just that, psychologically, maybe might be handled differently. So really, I think this is a big step, and it's a super good step, and it's not the easiest step. I mean, every one of us has done it at some point, this step, but really, it's something really amazing. And this was at what time? About 2014, 2012, when you stopped working at Oracle?
No, that was almost like just 3 years ago. So
Just 3 years ago. Okay.
yeah,
Even
exactly.
harder. You know what I mean? Like when you're getting a bit older, and then do this swap. It's pretty hard. But
Well, I understand. I agree with you. Like one of the things that I always kind of think about, like the life is, like one of the founding fathers of US is obviously like Franklin, right? And they asked Franklin, like Benjamin Franklin, like what is the like the essence of success, like how you can be successful. And he said, like be industrious and be frugal. Now, these two things are kind of like very important, because like being industrious is more about like being resourceful, like hard work, do a lot of things, create, like be productive. But at the same time, being frugal is pretty much like making sure that you are not like becoming just a consumer in the life. Like, I mean,
exactly.
meaning that, back to your point, many, like a lot of people, they just start their career in their 20s, and they need a lot less than many others, like, because they
Yes.
are like single, they are like, they don't care, but they forget that that's the best point in their lives, because they are not the slaves of their own career, right? But over the time, like a personal OPEX is increasing because of many reasons, like family and kids, etc. But actually, there is like the real increase, which is because of like you need to feed the family. But then there is an artificial increase because a lot of people need a larger house, larger car, second car, third car, first motorcycle, another
Yeah.
hobby, another like a dinner. But like all these things together creates that vicious circle of like, consume more and become the slave of your consumption. And my kind of like recommendation to anyone is like really to think what you really need in this life to be happy. Is it maybe it is much less than what you need, because the less you need, the more freedom you get. Then if
Exactly.
you want to be an entrepreneur, then you become an entrepreneur. If you want to be an artist, you be an artist. But there is no need to do things that you don't want to do, kind of compensating it by almost like a vicious circle, right? You just like spending more money that you have in order to create that vicious circle. So that's kind of like one of the things that I kind of realize in my life, and that's why I moved to this. The other thing was like I was really successful in my career. It was a very fast, going up, and I was not able to leave it before. But I am so happy, being an entrepreneur, and not only because I do what I want to do, but it's also like I'm building teams and I'm sharing my knowledge at this moment. So it's not only about, and I'm learning a lot of new things, like working in a company, salary base, it's always great. But when you are like on your own business, you learn a lot of things from scratch. And I think learning, sharing, and I'm really I'm really glad to have the whole, kind of my team, my family and everything. So it's kind of like why I'm happy, because I'm learning, I am sharing, and I'm also like thankful to have what I have. And that's more than enough for me. So all these things together, I think creates a great sphere of happiness.
I mean, this is exactly what I'm saying, because you have to love the journey. So we are kind of always in the journey of achieving, of going further, of trying new things, and really going through the goal. But the goal the best is that the goal will be might be never achieved, because, for example, myself, I set the goals high, and once I achieve the goal, it goes to the next goal, because the next goal. So I don't want to finish it. I'm always trying to go further and push myself further. Although the family is here, everything is with you. There's always something to go on. Because this is the fulfilling part as well of creating and giving back to the community, or giving back to the clients, and helping others to succeed and to get better. You, for example, with your software, and ourselves with all the optimization we do and the tweaks into the listings and everything. So there is something which helps people actually to achieve their dreams. So when you help somebody to achieve their dreams, obviously you're gonna be good as well. So this is one of the amazing things as well in Amazon, because they are going so fast forward. There is almost every day new opportunities coming out. If we would keep ourselves updated of what Amazon is bringing out every day, I think you can just open up a new company, because it's just impossible to keep up with every little single thing. So I stopped trying to do that, and I really concentrate on one of these things. So in general as well, in those companies, I mean, in big companies like obviously as well Oracle, you cannot check out what is coming out on a daily basis. You really need to focus on one simple thing. And I think as well, this is in business and in life is the same. You cannot focus on everything. You need to focus on one thing, and this is how you can get your way to success as well.
I agree. Makes a lot of sense. And back to one of the things that you said, it's not only about also building a new company or learning, but it's the sharing part, and sharing it, adding value and sharing it with our customers, the community. That's very helpful. That's very fulfilling for myself. And also, for example, working with a partner like you is also another important thing, because we think that we have a solution maybe, but then you have another kind of expertise.
Exactly.
And combining this is 1 + 1 = 3 for anybody that we are kind of dealing with and serving. And that's also very important, sharing with all our partners and creating a bigger a value for everyone.
That's definitely true. And we are now as well in an age where software, it's very important, because at some point, like our company is mostly still manual, but your company is software. So we have now another era. So we go very fast. So software like yours is super important. And I think as well, it's not just the software which we create. No, your software actually is very useful. It's something I've seen. I've seen many software, and I'm with a few software, I'm a bit doubtful, because it's not like, wow, this is not like, yes, okay, I really need it, But there is software, for example, the Aglos, I would really say this is definitely something you need to move forward and to have an overview of your accounts, because if you have so many articles, how you can keep track of this? This is just almost impossible, because imagine 8,000, 10,000 articles in there, no, I've seen this myself. It's just not possible. You have some parts you need to have a software for each single one. Then you have I don't know, then there's 3 or 4 screens which have different software. So no, it's not possible. Coming to this point, can you just go into the software and really tell us in details, how can you make the life better of somebody who has, for example, 8,000, 10,000 articles in store, or even the smaller ones, like 100, 50, even maybe 10, 15,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. And the reason why we started the EVA is because after running Amazon business for more than 8 years, we of course had a great level of experience of what works and what needs some help. And there are these certain areas where it can be incorporated into the software and it can add a lot of value to manage the Amazon business. So EVA is a platform and the platform helps the Amazon sellers to manage their business more effectively, because the first thing that it does is it gives you an insight about your store, if like, you know, how the sales is going. But the key difference is Amazon is showing you a nice view of like your revenues, like your revenues are growing, you are happy with that. But always I ask the question to the Amazon sellers, even the beginners, like even if they are just in their first month, how much money you are making, what's your profit, like what's your expenses, are you controlling like the whole expenses? And that's what is not missing. But it's not easy to find everything in one single place on Amazon. Maybe conscious or unconscious decisions, but Amazon's focus is like to make sure that you are selling more. But EVA's focus is like to make sure that you have a business that you make money. So
Exactly.
that's with that focus, like we kind of give the insight about everything and anything related to, you know, the cost of the goods to expenses on Amazon and in every great detail. So to make sure that the seller has the insight. And then the second type of insights are more about, you know, like most of the sellers are started to use Fulfilled by Amazon, FBA. Then, you know, the FBA it has its own type of expenses and complexities. And that is kind of like second level of insights. And maybe at the third level, it's more about like actionable insights. Like when I say actionable, for example, reimbursements is a big deal on Amazon.
Definitely.
Especially with FBA business. We are able to recover up to 3.5% of you know, monthly revenues by our you know, AI-based you know, reimbursement system, which basically looks and detects you know, every single discrepancy, like if Amazon is losing or damaging anything, you know, like we're able to you know, kind of find that. And also with pricing, like when I say actionable insight, we are able to change prices based on the inventory levels, demand, trend, competition, and many other things. And all these things are done in an automated fashion and an autonomous fashion, because the data is there. So that's why it makes perfect sense to build, or it made perfect sense to us to build an AI system, because artificial intelligence means it works based on data. It is not like, you know, super smart, but it's the data is already there. E-commerce has the data, and based on the data, we are able to update the price or find the reimbursement cases, or ensure that, you know, the right items are replenished at the right time. You know, so everything around like managing the business is already incorporated into EVA.
Okay, so the thing is, what I'm very interested in as well is the stock, you know, because that's a very crucial, you know, it's very challenging at the moment, especially with the restrictions which come out, and there's a lot of misunderstandings. So your software will as well help with that. Yeah, they will try to find out what's going on there, how much you can bring in, how much you should, you know. This as well will show everything detailed, right?
Absolutely. Like in terms of like stock, you know, which is really one of the key problems or challenges, let's put it in this way, on the Amazon FBA business is like how much stock you need to send. You know, Amazon gives you an idea like, okay, you are only limited to 200. The question is, which 200 you are going to send? Because what if like you have 20 SKUs? Which ones you want to send? Now, you may say, oh, these ones I sell the best. Maybe I'll send them. But are you really sure that these are the ones that per unit you're going to make the maximum profit, for example? Because the key point is always, again, you know, to make more money, and you want to replenish the SKUs that you will make you will maximize your profits if you have a limitation. If you don't have a unit limitation, then you always have at least like a budget limitation. Let's say you have $10,000 to invest. which items you are going to replenish first and send it to Amazon. So EVA gives you a great like insight on that, because EVA already knows like what's the velocity of selling for every single item, meaning that EVA knows per unit how much money you make, how much profit you make, and creates an algorithm, creates an output based on the algorithm of calculating that profit velocity. That's what EVA will do. Not only that, as soon as you send it to Amazon, and in case like your stock level is going down, then EVA will understand that that you have an out of stock risk and starts gradually increasing the price. Now, if the price is increasing, obviously your velocity is going a bit down, but you are delaying the out of stock problem, and that gives you more time to replenish your stuff again. So that's also a big, kind of advantage. For example, during the last Q4, our customers made 35% more profits because Amazon was not allowing them to replenish. But at least, at least because we were gradually increasing the prices until, they were out of stock, they already made tons of money because they didn't just keep the price at the same level. So the price went up and they went out of stock much later, but also they sold all the stock that they have. So at least, like that was a great case for maximizing the profits. And if they were able to replenish, then the prices again go down, because now it's kind of like a normal, situation. So these are kind of like different areas of pricing, replenishment, or, controlling the demand, that EVA will decide, like when to replenish and what should be the price and how many units to replenish. All these actionable insights will be like what are delivered directly to the Amazon seller.
I mean, that's already all-in-one software. I mean, what you don't need a lot more. It's already what you need and what you are looking for. Now, when I think about EVA, I always think about an AI. Obviously, your software is an AI. As I look at the woman, Eva, and she telling me what is going on. So, are you in the future planning to make the software to have a voice in there, or is there anything? Where do you want to go in the future? It was just an example for me, because this is what's coming up when I read about your software. This is exactly what's coming up in my head.
And one of the reasons maybe we ended up with naming it EVA is also like we even use internally, like EVA will do that for you, EVA will do this for you. And we have seen that our customers are also they like the idea. So they just say, I mean, she is doing like pricing for me, or if they have a problem, they call me and say, she doesn't work. And I'm like, don't worry, I'll talk to her. Don't worry about that. I'll talk to her, like it's like, so there is this personalization of the software, and which we really like. I mean, in the future, we want to make it even more like, it's today it's only at Amazon level, because that's the major business that we have. But we want to make sure that we expand to, like Walmarts and eBays and, Shopify's and make sure that, EVA can query the whole e-commerce cloud, and, the seller asks a question and EVA response. Like that's what we want to do. That should be the interaction. Today it's like, oh, let me go to my dashboard about sales, or what about daily sales, what about what to replenish. But tomorrow it's like, I would like to see 3 months of the 3 months performance of the SKU XYZ, and that EVA will immediately bring the right kind of the dashboard for that reason. So that's kind of like what we want to do, and we are progressing towards that goal.
Okay, that's I think that sounds really good. So you are a developer, you are an engineer by heart, right?
That's right.
So what, I mean, you already said what motivates you. But I really would like to understand, like, what does motivate you? I mean, in general, to get up in the morning, I don't know what time you get up, but just when you get up, what does motivate you? What gives you the drive in order to do the next day?
Well, I mean, as I said in the beginning, I always think that, the happiness comes from these three main things, which is, learning new things, sharing it with other people, and like showing the gratitude that, you are
Yeah.
able to learn and share and whatever you own or, you experience with, like with the other people, right? So it's about these three things. So when I wake up, like, it's roughly 6:30 a.m. That's when I start. And, the first thing that I look at is always like, I would like to understand, like, if we are able to help any customers when I was sleeping. I mean, I'm like, when I wake up, I immediately check, like what's going on. And, sometimes I see some great messages. Sometimes I see some questions. And sometimes, like, some misunderstandings,
Yeah.
but that's kind of the first things that I would like to look at. And the more I share, I understand their problems, my customers' issues, and we are able to fix them. That makes me really happy and motivated. So my major motivation is, Amazon sellers are great entrepreneurs, and like they're like a lot of sharks everywhere. And the Amazon sellers, even if they are making $1 million a month, doesn't matter. It's still like, compared to big retailers, they are small, right? I mean,
Yeah.
compared to big brands, they are small. Now, the small guys on Amazon, whether it is $10,000 a month or €1 million a month, doesn't matter. If you're able to help them to survive, to get bigger, to sustain, I mean, that's like a beautiful thing. And I have seen so many times, like, we are helping them and they are very thankful to us. Why? Because you're helping their family to grow. Like, I mean, because they manage Amazon and they feed their family, or maybe like 10 other families. But it's like, you see the direct impact on their business and on their lives. That's absolutely motivational for me.
That's amazing, because it's useful give something useful back to the clients and to help them to grow their business. I think this is already fantastic, 100%. And what would be your message, for example, I mean, to everyone who wants to build a business, not necessarily Amazon, I mean, in general, because now we're in challenging times. But I think it's still the best time in order to switch. If anyone is in the job or anything, switch into entrepreneurship. What is your message for them, and for the ones as well to keep going, which have now issues?
Right. I mean, as I said in the beginning, I find the entrepreneurship as a kind of a disorder, a genetic disorder. Now,
I need to laugh. No, it's really good. It's really
and I
good.
don't want to, like, I don't want to recommend that to anyone. Like today, for example, somebody is a doctor, officer, engineer, or somebody that I wouldn't say that, no, you're doing the wrong thing. You should become an entrepreneur, because it doesn't make any sense. But if somebody already has this inside him, what I can say is, like, Amazon is already, or e-commerce in general, is already giving a great way for anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur, because you can literally start from a very low amount of capital and grow from there. So it's a great way. So if it is already, if somebody is listening us and they think that, I mean, they have that type of a problem, which is the disorder, and they really want to do something, yes, like Amazon is already like a great place to start with, or e-commerce. And, we'll be very happy to help. I think you and I can help them
Sure.
in multiple different ways. And it's a great place. I have seen so many people. It's not just 10 or 100. So many people, they became successful, in e-commerce. and they enjoy their lives. Yes, at the same time, so many people also failed as well, which is very normal.
Yes.
But if I look at even the ones that failed, it's very interesting that I think one of the major reasons they failed because they were not persistent enough. Like, what I'm thinking is like many of them wouldn't fail if they just continue to push, continue to fight, because it's also about, like, in e-commerce, you're gonna find it, like you're gonna find that thing that it works for you, but it takes time. Now, sometimes you are lucky and you find it in the first month. Sometimes it will take a year, but it is possible. Like, it is always there because there is like billions of people, like they want to buy things. So
yes,
I mean, I'm fascinating with the opportunity, and COVID, of course it was a bad thing, but in terms of e-commerce, COVID helped to change habits. People buy things from groceries instead of like a grocery store. Now they just buy it online. I mean, a lot of things changed even in US. I see the same thing in Europe. Like, e-commerce is becoming the major way of, purchasing things now. I mean, it was already like around 15 to 20% of the overall retail. Today, it's moving towards like 30% of the overall retail. And tomorrow it will be 50%, 60%, 70%. So this is a great opportunity. That's why I agree with you. Like you said, it's a great time. Yes, it is, because, the world is moving to e-commerce. And the shift is already happening, and the shift is accelerated by COVID. It will not go back. So it's the right time.
Yeah, that's definitely what I say as well. It's you just have to push. You have to, it's the time right now. So I mean, when do you think it's a better time? When you, as you said, you give numbers even. We're looking at 50%. We have COVID has accelerated by 50% the whole e-commerce market. It was booming. I've never seen this before. It was just amazing. So yeah, I think really entrepreneurship in general, people need to look into it. People need to to get excited about it. And because really it's amazing, and you will change your life, and it's just the best way of life you can live. I mean, I don't have anything against jobs, and if people are happy, they can be happy. But at least look into it, try it out. Do a side hustle, do something what helps you to turn your money around. And the weekends when you have nothing to do something which can help you, help your family. It's an amazing world out here. So yeah, I mean, we come to an end of our talk here, and I would like to thank you a lot, Hai, that you have joined us today. And yeah,
thank you for having me, and it was a great conversation. I mean, always happy to join back. Thank you.
Thank you. Speak to you later. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.